This is another episode of UFO Garage.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Joe, and this is where we talk about UFOs, aliens, and all things weird.
Episode 28.
Hey!
Ryan Sprague.
It's a very important episode for me. Number 28 is very symbolic.
Oh.
Because 28 is also the year I lost my virginity.
Whoa, dude. 1928?
No. I was 28 years old.
Oh, dude. Hell yeah. I was born on June 28th.
Nice, dude. So significant for both of us.
Yeah, man.
I'm just kidding. That's not...
That's like 3 years ago.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Like you and Amanda have been dating for like 8 years. Like you just lost your...
Oh, God. No. I'm just joking. I've been slamming that ham for a long time.
But like real hams.
Real hams. Like I slam hams on the driveway. Yes, dude. Oh, man. So Ryan Sprague today, dude. I'm pretty stoked about this.
So excited. Well, I mean, this is after the fact. I'm so excited for people to hear this episode. I switched
Well, I'm excited for it before the fact.
I am also I'm excited for the episode,
and also furthermore,
and also talking to him.
Yes, dude. So what do we got on the agenda today for the Facebook thing?
Oh yeah, dude.
Dude, we got so much stuff on the Facebook we're gonna have to go through.
Yeah. If you're not on our group, our Facebook group, check out UFO Garage Podcast Group. Join the conversation. Post some stuff. If you find something on YouTube or an image, post it and see what people say. This one's awesome from Chris, the 053, The Memoirs of Jack Carroll, Part 1. Dude, it's so awesome.
That was pretty dope.
Such an awesome story.
That was really awesome. Yeah. I can't wait for part 2.
I know.
Hey, Chris, is part 2? Is it already done, or is it like you're just waiting to put it out, or like you still got to talk to him, or what? Because that was pretty sick. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he was the one that did the interview.
Who?
Right?
Chris?
Here's a nice experiencer interview I did recently.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he was the one that interviewed him. That's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's his podcast right there.
Oh, dude. Well,
because then he also did
the podcast.
He also did the live or he did the podcast with his friend from Alien Con, I think, too. Okay. And then recently he did was it a Bigfoot one? I think I can't remember.
Dope.
I can't remember, but yeah, dude, I enjoy it.
Conspire a Theory is the name of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So check it out, y'all. It's really good. I don't want to ruin the story, but man, it's sick.
Yeah, his experiencer story was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's dope. What else we got?
That snake thing, that rattlesnake thing.
That
timber rattlers.
Yeah,
that was pretty crazy. With the being like sweeping up the room. In the medical room.
Right. Yeah.
Like, well, I can't really touch you. But he's like, "Am I done?" He's like, "Well, you got some stuff you got to do."
It sounded like one of those tertiary actors in a like an FBI show, where they go and like interview people at their jobs and they keep doing their jobs. Is like, well, the FBI's interviewing, like, put down the broom.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's always that dude on like CSI Miami where he's like the box guy, where he's holding a box and just moving boxes. Like, bro, put the fucking box down.
Stop it.
The police are talking to you. Like, Jesus.
Dude. Yeah, and Melinda Leslie last week, dude.
Yeah, dude, that was sick.
That was pretty sick. That was a good one.
Yeah, man. That was really in depth. It was awesome talking to her.
It was one of my faves.
Yeah, dude, five for sure.
Faves.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks, Alejandra, for doing that photography touch up.
That was immediately.
Yeah.
Like, I posted it and she was like, "Your picture sucks."
It was awesome.
Watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't even figure out how to do it. And I use Photoshop all the time. Maybe there's. I'll go look at a tutorial. Maybe we just send all of our stuff to Alejandra first, and then
right. Just have her doctor it up for us.
Yeah, dude,
it's pretty sick.
It looks like the Trump and UFOs video that Dan posted. I clicked on it and it said the video was removed,
which is weird because earlier today I started watching the beginning, and then the old lady was like, "Hey, let's take the dogs for a walk," and I was like, okay. And so we went to dogs for a walk, and then I came back, and then it was time to podcast. And then when I got here, so between that time, me eating tacos, taking the dogs for a walk,
Yeah.
and then coming here, it was taken down.
Dude. Creepy. Well, it looks like he posted another link. Let's see if it works. A new link. Maybe it was just a link in the video. But you must have clicked on the video from Facebook. I wonder why.
I did.
It didn't work. I wonder why it didn't work the first time. Yeah, that was December 8th today. It was uploaded today.
Oh, snap.
Oh, it says re-uploaded to fix audio problems. So, all right, no conspiracy.
You know what? I still think the FBI did it.
Yeah, dude, me too.
Well, now we're gonna have to go back and watch the whole thing.
Yeah,
so we were gonna talk about it, but then we were like, oh shit, it got taken down. And we're like, conspiracy, and then we were like, well, let's talk about the conspiracy, and then now it just got re-uploaded. So now I don't have anything to say.
No, I don't have anything to talk about either.
It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
damn.
I mean, it's still cool. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, I want to watch it and talk about it. Yeah.
So we'll be prepared for next week's episode of the UFO Garage Podcast.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah. Well, man, this interview with Ryan Sprague, awesome. So stoked for you guys to hear it. What do you say? You want to get into it?
Let's get into it, dude.
Aight.
Well, what's up, Brian? Thanks for being on the UFO Garage Podcast tonight, dude.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. Hey, listen, I've become a fan in the past couple months or so when I heard about you guys, so I'm super honored to be here, to be completely honest, so thank you.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot, dude. Yeah, we thoroughly enjoy your show as well, man.
Yeah.
It's a blast. It gets me through my work day, you know what I'm saying?
That's what podcasts are for, let's be honest.
Absolutely, dude. Well, hey, man, I guess just for maybe some of our listeners who may not be too familiar with you, let them know, who you are and what you do, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a UFO researcher, journalist, podcast host, author, blah, blah, blah. I've sort of done it all in the UFO field. Ever since I was pretty young, to be honest. I had a UFO sighting back in 1995 that kind of changed my life. And, after that, I started looking into the topic and taking out books at the library on UFOs and, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, all that fun stuff. And it kind of just followed me for the rest of my life. I started interviewing people in my hometown of Syracuse, New York. Even so much to say, I interviewed a Vietnam veteran when I was 12 and a half years old about a UFO sighting he had over the Pacific Ocean. So I started pretty young. I was the first person he ever told about this, and kind of the last too. He passed away a few months after I took down his story. So I really think it was meant to be, and that kind of propelled me forward to keep doing this whole UFO journalism thing and just going around meeting people, talking to people, and hearing their incredible stories about UFOs.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, that's super cool. I want to hear the story, man. That sounds cool.
Oh, my story? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Tell us about your experience, dude. Like, run us through from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
You got it. I've sort of at this point got a Cliff Notes version, so I won't keep you too long with it. So yeah, this happened in the summer of 1995. I was on a fishing trip with my parents. We would go to this motel up in upstate New York, and we would fish off the St. Lawrence River up there, which literally it's a river that separates Canada from the U.S. right near New York. And I was fishing one night by myself outside. I had my Discman with me, so that brings it back to the mid-90s.
Whoa.
And yeah. And I was listening to Green Day, so that brings it even back to the 90s even more.
Hell yeah. Nice.
So I'm listening to like Basket Case or one of the songs on there, and it started getting dark. So I'm like, all right, I should probably go in for the night. And I'm reeling my line in, and I could see these 3 white lights in the water. And I kind of bend down on the dock. The dock was right next to our motel, so I could like see inside to our room. And I'm looking down into the water. I'm seeing where are these lights coming from? And naturally, I look up and realize it's a reflection. So I look up and I see 3 white lights in a triangular formation, just kind of hovering there. And No structure. I didn't see like a machine or, windows, nothing like that. But there was like this other red ball in the middle, very hazy, and it just kind of hung there, this triangular formation. And I couldn't get any noise out. I tried to yell into my dad because I could literally like see him in the motel room there, and I couldn't, nothing. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. I couldn't do anything, and I just stared up at it, man. And then it started to float over the water. I finally get a little like 12-year-old squeal out, and my dad comes outside, and as he's coming out, he actually sees this thing with me, and we both watched it as it floated across the river, headed towards Canada, and disappeared out of sight. So
they're Canadians. I knew it.
Yeah. They're either Canadians or they're trying to cross the border without, with those illegal fireworks. I don't know.
They're getting over there. They're not of age to drink yet, so they're going to get some beer.
That's so true.
Can't you drink at a younger age over in Canada?
Dude, I don't know.
I think that's a good point. I know a lot of my friends went to colleges in Canada because they knew they could drink younger. So smart dudes.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy. Like how just seeing something in the sky briefly can completely kind of change the trajectory of the rest of your life. Like even as a little kid or even as an older person, like just something so like, I wouldn't say small, right? Because I mean, it definitely changes it changes you a little bit, these experiences that happen. And man, like, me and Ben, out in Sedona, we witnessed, a little something. And dude, I mean, it really does, like something inside of you just kind of like clicks, it definitely changes a little something inside of you.
That's a good way of putting it. It clicks. It kind of turns a switch on. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. I was like an athlete. Like baseball was my life when I was younger. Baseball, girls, and rock music. That's about it. And then this goddamn UFO thing just dropped in my lap, and it changed the whole course of my life. I'm what some consider like a professional UFO researcher. Not that that's an actual thing, but that's what a lot of people consider me. And I'm like, where the hell did this come from, this U-turn? But I think that's kind of how it is. And I mean, being out in Sedona, you guys must hear and see so many stories of things I can't even imagine.
Oh, dude, we've heard some crazy stuff out there in Sedona, man. I mean, have you ever been out there before?
I have not. I've only been to Tempe for a UFO conference, so that's about as close as I've come.
Bro, if you ever get a chance, you need to go to Sedona. I mean, it is not only is it gorgeous, but dude, I mean, the energy in that area is incredible, man. Like it's such a good time. It's one of those places you could literally go, just sit out on a rock and do absolutely nothing and have one of the best times of your life.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the most conventional, skeptical people I know have gone out there, and, beyond seeing a UFO themselves, they do say the same thing. There's something about it. So there's got to be something to it, guys. I don't know. You might be where the portal is that all these things are coming in and out of.
That's right. We have a couple friends out there. We had Melinda Leslie on last week, and a couple weeks before that, one of our other friends, Jocelyn, who lives out there, and she lives right behind Cathedral Rock. And supposedly during the Rendlesham case, right? How supposedly he got this download of information, and it was like binary code and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, and it turned out to be like ley lines and like points on the earth and stuff like that. Apparently Sedona was one of the points that was in there. And
yes, it is. Yeah.
Apparently that this is that portal is right there above Cathedral Rock, and it's right in her backyard. So she takes photos. Yeah, she takes photos like all the time, and she's got incredible photos just of stuff. She's like, that's what we do. We just sit outside and take pictures all the time, because a lot of times you can't see certain things, and then you develop these photos and they're all over the place.
Oh, absolutely. Quick story about Rendlesham. The gentleman you're talking about, Jim Peniston, I've spoken to him on several occasions, and the whole binary code thing, I know he just came out with a new book all about deciphering those codes, so I definitely suggest people check that out. But, some of these ley lines he found and the coordinates were incredible, and I actually think I know who you're talking about, Jocelyn. I've spoken to her on several occasions, too, and what I love about her is she's out there just experiencing it. She's not, come one, come all, charge admission, come see the portal. So I think that's amazing, and I'm so happy you brought up Rendlesham. When I'm not doing UFOs, I'm actually a playwright here in New York City, and one of the first plays I wrote when I moved here was about the Rendlesham UFO encounter.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I've been working on it for about 8 years now, and I'm nowhere near being done. I don't think I ever will be.
Yeah, that's cool.
So you're gonna like try and make like a little like a film out of it, or like maybe like a live Broadway play out of it?
I'm trying, man. So I work on Broadway here, so I've definitely got some connections. I try to slip some scripts to some producers every now and again, and it really perks their ears when they hear it's about a UFO case. They're like, "What the hell?" We've never seen UFOs on Broadway, so
exactly. That's what I'm saying. That would be super interesting to see.
It really would, yeah. So it's been interesting, yeah.
Yes, dude. That's awesome, man. So, dude, I mean, like you're I love your podcast, dude. I mean, I think it's kind of like the the need to have diet kind of to the UFO community, and just people listening to it. You bring a lot of interesting guests on. You have a lot of facts and things like that. Like our show is kind of like the Dr. Pepper of like the UFO community. You know what I'm saying? Like it may not be important to the diet, but I mean it's nice to have a little sweets every now and then, bro.
Are you kidding me, man? I literally moments before we got on got me some chicken and broccoli at my local Chinese place and a Dr. Pepper. So it is a necessity. It is a necessity. I will send you a picture. I'm not kidding.
I have one sitting in my lap right now, and I'm a huge. I mean, being from Texas, I mean that's kind of what we drink,
I get it. You know what sucks? We here in New York, we're big on Pepsi because Pepsi Cola is like their headquarters is here in New York. So you can't even find freaking Coca-Cola anywhere here. We're like living in this weird Pepsi oasis, and it's disgusting. I hate it.
It's so weird. I'm not a fan of Pepsi either, man.
It just tastes like flat Coke to me.
I will say this though: for some reason, Pepsi is kind of good with Taco Bell. I think it's because they both taste like shit that like it complements. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is.
Put shit on shit and call it a day.
Yep. That's right, dude. That's
shit
right.
On some other shit.
Oh, man. There's the title of your episode.
Yeah, shit on shit. Don't drink Pepsi.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. So, dude, like through listening to your show, right? I noticed that, you said that you love, Fire in the Sky, and that, you're friends with Travis. Dude, like when I saw that movie when I was a kid, that was it. I was hooked.
Really? Yeah. Oh man, I remember the first time I saw it. It was either like Showtime or HBO, one of those like pay cable things. And we didn't really get the station, so it was like that fuzzy thing, when you're trying to watch porn when you're like 13 and look through the haze. For me, it was exactly. But for me, it was fucking Travis Walton getting abducted by aliens. So I had to like watch that through the snow on the TV. And, oh man, when I finally saw that movie, dude, I was the same way. It did something, I think, to a lot of people, triggered a lot of people, and told a story of what a lot of people didn't know was based on actual events. So it's up there, man. When people come to me and say, what abduction cases do you put, stock in? Because I'm going to be completely honest, as a UFO researcher, I'm still very on the fence when it comes to the abduction phenomenon and what it is, what it represents. But Travis is one of those walking enigmas with, multiple witnesses who saw it happen, who took lie detector tests and passed with flying colors that this shit happened. And I can't take that away from them. I can't. And I will tell you this tee, meeting the guy so many times, it doesn't look like he's aged a day in like 50 years. It's crazy.
Israel lady killer.
Man, we saw him across the room and like, man, that guy's got a good hairline and mustache.
Seriously.
He's always got ladies around him too, so, you know. I guess that's the key. Yep.
Yeah, he had his guitar with him when we saw him last time we were at the UFO Congress out in Phoenix a couple months ago.
Oh, perfect.
And, that's where we got to meet him. He's a pretty awesome dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So how do you like? I have like a real hard problem, I think, with like, I don't know, separating the aliens with the UFO. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, man, like, yes, there is probably some stuff that, you know, maybe isn't piloted by anything, but at the same time, like when you hear cases like Travis's, and with all these multiple witnesses saying that, you know, we saw this thing, right? And then Travis is like, yeah, I was in this thing, and then I saw these beings there too. Like, do you separate the two, or can you, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, that's half the struggle of being a UFO researcher is I study UFOs. I'm not an alientologist. I'm not like what would you call it? A biochemist? Nothing like that. Astrobiology, forget about it. Math is not my thing. Right. But, you know, you give me a solid UFO case to go investigate and I'll do it. So yeah, it's super tough to separate the UFO from extraterrestrial. Anytime you go to the mass media or you're getting interviewed about this stuff, they always say, so, you know, what are the aliens up to? And I'll say, I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. All I could tell you is these 25 people saw a boomerang-shaped craft in 1997 over Phoenix, Arizona. So, I mean, we don't know what they are. And we can't even say that any of these UFOs are directly connected to one another. I mean, it could be 10 different reasons for these things, a million different reasons, and we're still, I think, just scratching the surface of that. So when it comes to ET, I think that's one tiny possibility of what we could be dealing with.
Yeah. So, man, like, I mean, it could be like, you know, you have ufology on one hand, and then like we need to kind of like start alienology like on the other hand, you know?
Totally. Yeah, and I mean, it's I fall victim to it too. I mean, I'm always posting shit about little green men and the Greys and this and that. But I mean, when it becomes such a part of pop culture and just like mostly the American zeitgeist, I'd say, like it's tough. It's tough because I try to tell people, yeah, like I'll draw an alien on that for you if you want, or like I have a ton of alien swag all over all the time, but at the core of it, I want to know what UFOs are and if there's an intelligence behind them and what do they want, whatever it is that is. So yeah, I don't know.
Do you think personally that our government will ever come out and truly do a disclosure like, hey, we're not alone? Do you think that'll ever happen?
Fuck no.
I'm in the same
Are you kidding me? I apologize. I get very passionate with that question because, look, I mean, they've been lying to us for so long anyways. We thought Project Blue Book was the end of the government investigating UFOs. Come to find out, 2 years ago? Secret Pentagon UFO program. So, I mean, they're always gonna be deceitful. They're always going to bend it whichever way they want. And also, guys, I always tell people this, the government is dumb as shit. Like, I don't think they are capable of this huge cover-up that everyone thinks they are. Everyone has their own job within government. The dude over here has no idea what the girl over here is doing. So, like, I don't think that they could ever disclose because, honestly, I don't think they know what the fuck is going on either. But I always tell people, it's not what the government knows or doesn't know. It's that they can control the information that gets out to us. So you just got to be careful what you're hearing all the time. I mean, look, I think this whole Tom DeLonge to the stars thing is awesome, but we got to remember that's one narrative. That's one lens to look at the UFO phenomenon through. And with them, it's a threat. It is a threat, and the military loves hearing that shit because then you're going to get funding for it. So
absolutely.
It's tough. It's tough because I do not think UFOs are as big of a threat as people think. I think they could actually help us a lot more than hurt us, whatever they may be. So to sort of circle back to your question, do I think the government will disclose? No. I think whatever's behind this stuff is going to disclose when they're damn ready.
Yeah, I think it's way bigger than we could possibly imagine, and there's probably a reason for it. But again, like you said, like I feel like not all the government branches do know what the story is, and maybe they just know half of it.
Yeah, dude,
they're never going to agree on one reason.
Yeah, I don't think. No, I think they know. Like they all probably just know as much as we do. The only difference is maybe they have some files, right, and maybe like little pieces of like some crash. It's really like the only thing I feel like separates them from from us, and yeah, I mean. They may know like a couple like deep secrets, but other than that, dude, I mean, they probably don't know shit either, right?
Yeah. I have to agree. Yeah, I think, and again, it's all spin, and like they can control the information when they just flat out deny that it exists. So I think just be careful who you listen to and what you put stock in, but just do your own work. That's what I tell people. Don't trust what the government's going to tell you about UFOs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Talk to like the dude at the bar or like the police officer that goes to your coffee shop. Be like, hey, anyone ever report a UFO to you? I want to hear about it. Like those are the people I want to hear from. I don't care about Luis Elizondo. I don't care about like some ex-CIA agent telling me about it. I want to hear from like the person whose life was changed by an event and how it affected them.
Absolutely.
I am all about the people having these experiences. That's what it comes down to for me, because like you guys, it changed me. Like whatever I saw, I don't care what it was. It changed the entire path of my life, and I'm very thankful for that. I've made incredible friends and colleagues through the UFO topic, and it's made me a very understanding and empathetic person, and I think we need that in the world right now more than ever.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah, and me and Ben talk about this on the show a lot too. Like, I agree. Like, it is kind of cool, like what the To the Stars Academy is kind of doing, but
totally.
At the same time, like, man, we have to be really, really careful with that too, because it's you look at all these people involved, and I mean, you got these guys that were part of the aviary group, part of, the working group, part of, like all these different groups, that were purposely like set out in the UFO community to like discredit and to disprove and make people look like quacks. And now we're supposed to like sit back and be like, oh yeah, they're telling us all this stuff. Like, yeah, I totally believe it because it's, linked with the government. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, how can you say for all these years, like, don't trust the government, and then now like they say some stuff and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's totally true, the government said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's such a good point. Everyone has their own truth, and when your truth is being validated by anyone, that's when you're gonna say, yup, I'm with you now, because truth is very malleable. And I think you're right when it comes to this group. There's some very questionable people involved, and you gotta be careful. And I think when you see the people who are like just totally all in with To the Stars Academy, like there is nothing else, this is the way it's going to be, this is disclosure, they tend to be on the younger side, and that's because they don't know about the aviary, they don't know about the working group, they don't know the track record of some of these people. So again, do your research, dig, look, and talk to the older guard of ufology. For Christ's sake, I'm meeting up with my mentor Peter Robbins, investigative UFO guy tomorrow morning. And every month we meet here in New York City, and dude, we just debrief for like 2 hours over some bacon and eggs and coffee, and like I hear the stories he's telling me from like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, because I guarantee you that's going to play a big part in your research moving forward and just building off of that. So yeah, for anyone who's pro TTSA or anti TTSA, I really think the truth lays somewhere in the middle. So yeah,
absolutely, dude. Yeah, me and Ben, like, we've really like taken some big steps lately, because I mean, this is something that we've been into since we were kids, right? And recently, like, we stopped. So we were in a band together for a long time, and the band kind of split up. The drummer moved out to California, for work and stuff, and me and Ben just had this free time on our hands, and we were like, dude, let's do a podcast. I mean, we do is sit around and talk about like UFOs and stuff all the time anyways. We might as well like make a podcast about it. So we're kind of breaking out of this like just being like YouTube researchers, and we're
mainstream.
Yeah, we're really like trying to talk to people now, and look through these files, and dude, like, so much reading has been involved, and like usually I'm not a big reader, but I mean, this has been awesome for us, just trying to put this puzzle together, dude, and it's pretty crazy. Like, the deeper you go, like the more unanswered questions you have, man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you I'm any closer to knowing what the hell's going on with UFOs. I can tell you that much. And anyone who does tell you they have the answers, guys, I don't have to tell you this. Like, run away, because they don't. They absolutely do not. This phenomena, I say phenomena, I don't think we're dealing with one thing. It is always going to be a step ahead of us, and that's sobering in one way, but at the same time, like, that's what keeps me going. That carrot, being dangled in front of you. Every time I find one answer, I know it's going to lead to something else. I'm going to change my mind, go back, do this, rinse and repeat, and I love that. And the fact that like you guys started a podcast, like, that's more than most people ever do. They will go on YouTube and write some scathing comment about someone and be like, that's bullshit, or you're crazy, instead of like actually doing some digging. So like, bring on the books, bring on the documentaries, bring on the movies. It's great, and I love it. So when I can find kindred spirits to like talk about this stuff with, and not get like laughed out of the room, that's awesome. And that's changing too, that whole ridicule factor with these topics. You guys entered the UFO field and podcasting world at the right time, man. Because let me tell you, I have lost job interviews, I've lost second dates talking about UFOs. So like,
oh man,
luckily
now is the time. You guys picked the right time.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and I think it's cool. Like, it's almost weird how like when somebody says I don't know, it almost makes it more credible than pretending like you do know.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, those are the people I trust, and that's science. That's building off of something and knowing that like the minute you figure something out, there's gonna always be a next step, and that's what I love. And there's what I love about the UFO field, self-proclaimed, is that it does involve everyone, whether it's religion, science, history, academics, everything you could possibly think of, soft scientists, hard scientists. Everyone can have a place in ufology, and like when you can find something that inclusive, that's amazing, that we can all just talk about this topic like with one another in so many different ways, and even maybe find some answers along the way. That's the beauty of it, I think. I love when I can like open my email and I've got like someone saying they were brought aboard a craft and brought to the Pleiades, and then the next email is from like some nuclear physicist telling me like this formula to how the craft work, and I'm just like, what the fuck is my life?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's amazing, and I know you guys probably get those kind of emails and stuff too. When people start paying attention to you and put stock in what you have to say, that's a big responsibility. responsibility. So I always tell people, like, I'm not going to have answers for you, but I will take your story down. I'll hash it out with you, but I am never going to tell you what you saw or did not see, because I was not there.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, definitely.
That's a good way of looking at it too. Yeah, and getting emails like stories written to you. I'm just curious. I mean, if you don't have to tell the whole story, but what's your like craziest story that you heard? Not crazy, but out there. I mean, that one sounded pretty interesting about somebody going to the Pleiades or whatever.
Oh yeah, I mean, it really runs the gamut. I get on probably a daily basis at least like a few emails about a UFO sighting or a contact experience. And I try to keep them all on the same level of like integrity and empathy, and just, all right, tell me your story. I'm not going to judge you. Let me just hear it. And I mean, there's one I always kind of go back to that had multiple people involved. And that right there is when I'm like, okay, so this isn't like one person's subjective experience. Like there were more than one person involved with this. And this happened, I think, back in the early 2000s. This woman sent me an email out in Michigan, and she saw a triangular UFO over her property. She's going out to walk her dogs at night, and this thing was just hovering above her house, and her dogs like wouldn't leave the porch. Like they were scared, petrified of what it was. So she's like, holy shit, like what is going on here? So she starts yelling for her daughter inside. She's like, go, come out here, come see this, bring a camera. So her daughter comes out, and they're both looking up at this UFO, this triangular UFO, and the mom is like super like chill about it, and she's feeling euphoric, and she said it was silent and beautiful. And then she's looking over at her daughter, who's like bent on the ground covering her ears and saying, the thing is so loud, I can't hear anything. And she's like, I'm so scared. So you have the mother and daughter having a completely different perception of what was going on in that moment, looking at the same thing. And that really, really struck me. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? These craft can like literally alter people's perceptions, or kind of like, just be perceived completely different. They did get some pictures of it, by the way. I should add that.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll try to send those to you guys after we talk here.
Dude, that'd be awesome.
Pretty freaking crazy, I'm not gonna lie. When she sent me the photos, I was like, okay, I got something to work with here. So
okay. Dude, that's awesome. What? Yeah, there's something to the them like emitting some kind of frequency that like changes. I think there is something there that changes the perception of the observer. I think that's super interesting. It plays into like the the science aspect of it. I think it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people have coined it sort of the Oz factor, like time slows down, the air becomes like thick, everything becomes quiet. And, I had another guy tell me the same thing. Like he couldn't hear anything, he couldn't see anything. And I will say too, like when I had my experience, I don't think what I saw was alien. I can flat out say that, but I can't discount that either. But I felt that same thing. Like I couldn't yell, I couldn't do anything. I was just like frozen there. So like, wow. Is it adrenaline? Is it fear? Or are these things actually somehow physiologically controlling us? I don't know. I don't know. And there's my answer. And that's why you should that's why you should trust me, because I say I don't know.
Yeah, man, I know, like when I think back on, when me and Ben saw that stuff out in Sedona, like I think back on it, man, and it's probably about 45 seconds to about a minute's worth of like air show that they put on. But man, like when I go back and think about it, like I'm staring at this object in the sky, and we're standing outside, and like I don't recall the wind blowing. I don't recall noises. I don't know if it's just because we were so focused on like what was happening around, up in the sky, that I blocked out all the other senses. But it is one of those things, man, that just kind of makes you think like, whoa.
I think so, yeah. And I think, it's human nature too, when like something something out of the ordinary that's not part of your daily routine, that isn't like, the same thing you've done every single day or looked at, like, it does. It changes something. It, like you said earlier, it flips that switch on, and then, like, the floodgates are open. I mean, it's crazy. After all these people tell me they've had a singular UFO event, then they come to me months later, years later, saying, something else happened. That woman in Michigan, dude, her house became, like, haunted by poltergeist after this. Whoa, after a UFO case. She said, I mean, her things were flying across the house. The electricity was going out. She called the electric people to come out and look at it. They come. The dude's like trying to fix the electricity. Huge boomerang craft comes over the house and he sees it. Oh. And he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And he literally left, and he was like, I'll send someone else, I'm never coming back here again. So
yeah, is that the one where the daughter saw the hooded figure?
Yes, it is.
Didn't see it?
Yep.
Dude, yes, that story's crazy.
I haven't heard this one. The hooded figure.
Yeah, Ryan can explain it better than I can, dude. But
absolutely.
Have you gotten any more update information on that, or is this still kind of a work in progress?
It is a work in progress. It's funny you mentioned that. I was in Michigan about a month and a half ago at a UFO conference, and that woman was there, and it was my first time meeting her face to face. Everything before that was like it is in 2019 over Facebook, and I got to like hug her and talk to her. I was the first person she like shared the story with in my book. I wrote an entire chapter on her case with her and her two daughters, and what you're talking about is actually the younger daughter. She wasn't part of the original UFO event, but one night she was in bed and she got up to go to the bathroom and she sees this hooded figure in the fucking hallway of their house, just chilling there, just chilling. It's like 4 feet tall, hooded figure, normal, I guess. And it starts walking towards her, and she's like, nope, this is not happening. She runs into her room, gets under the covers, puts them over her head, and she's just like, this isn't happening. And the covers start to come down. No. Someone's pulling the covers down, and it's her mom. Little suspenseful there. It was her mom, and she was like, are you okay, honey? I heard like some scampering in the hallway. And she couldn't move because she was still petrified. And as the mom's like trying to calm her down, hooded figure is going throughout the room, surveying the area, just looking at shit. And the daughter couldn't do anything. She was frozen and petrified. Mom finally says, all right, go to bed, good night, leaves. Being follows the mom out of the room, and then boom, that's it.
Dude.
Whoa. Yeah.
What if they're just all around us all the time and we just don't know it? They're just walking around picking shit up and looking at it, or
Absolutely, man. Like they might be just as confused as we are. Like, what the hell am I doing? A lot of people say that with ghosts too. Like they're just as scared of us as we are of them. They don't know why the hell you're seeing them all of a sudden. Like maybe there was a glitch in the Matrix, or there was, some time-space warp where you did catch a glimpse of someone back in 1700. Who freaking knows, man? Maybe that's what we're dealing with aliens too. Aliens are ghosts, ghosts are aliens.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. And it's weird because like you always like anytime you hear about it, it's like I saw this being and I ran away, or like I hid under my covers, and it always makes me think like I wonder what would happen if somebody was like, hey, what's up? Hey, what are you doing over there? And like walked towards it, or like ran towards it. Like, I wonder if it would haul ass out of there, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Oh man, I've got a quick story for you. You want this one? Okay.
Yes.
So, this comes from my friend Mike Clellan. He's the owl guy. I don't know if you guys know about Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know him, yeah.
Yeah, he compiles all people's stories who somehow connect owls with UFOs or aliens. So he's got this story of this woman who's like, she's doing the dishes after dinner, and she's a multiple abductee. She's claimed to have been abducted throughout her life, and she's just doing the dishes, putting them away, and she looks out her window, and a gray gray alien is staring at her in the window, and she looks over and she's like, no, not a chance. She's like, I am not going with you now. I got too much shit to do tonight. I gotta help my daughter with her homework. And she literally puts the dishes down, opens the door, goes outside, and she's like, no, I'm not doing this, right? And the alien starts going, literally, not telepathically, saying, owl, 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 owl. Like it's trying to, screen memory itself into an owl, because a lot of abductees claim that.
What? Yeah.
And the little fucker couldn't do it. It was just, failing miserably. So it runs away. Shit. Dude, the gray ran away, hit a tree, fell over, and then ran off into the woods. And she was like...
Oh my God.
She's like, that was weird. That's never happened, but okay, I guess I can go help my daughter with her homework now.
Dude. So grays can be awkward too. They can be clumsy.
Yeah, apparently they can fuck up, yeah.
Oh, man, because you always think of them as so, precise and calculated, but you throw them off their game and you turn it around on them, and they're like, oh, shit, I don't know what to do in this situation.
Dude. Hell yeah, dude. There's stories where, they've put people back in, the wrong clothes or even, the wrong car. This one dude was on the highway, and he claimed to have been abducted, and when he, kind of came back to it, he was in a different car, looking at his own car on the highway with someone else in it. I'm not kidding you. What do you do with that? I mean, a part of me wants to be that's not true. That's total bullshit. But at the same time, these are normal, sane people claiming these things. No sense of, being fantasy prone or, hallucinating or on any drugs. Nothing. And they're claiming these things. So what do you do with that?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. That's, and it's crazy because, it kind of brings me back to the, well, maybe we should have an alienology because, we all, we discuss the UFO aspect of this, but then when you talk to people who have no interest in it, who don't even think about, aliens or whatever, then they have this experience and they all seem to kind of describe the same, certain kinds of beings, whether they be grays or hooded figures or whites or whatever it is, they all kind of, you could just, I guess chalk it off to oh, well, they've heard stories, they've read books, they've seen movies. That's why, that's why they describe them this way. But every line of bullshit came from a little kernel of truth.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, man. I work under the assumption that every story has some sort of value. And yeah, when you do hear the same damn story 10 million times, big head, big black eyes, gray, I'm okay, it's very possible you are influenced by something, but at the same time, is it chicken or egg? What came first, the story or the person having the same sort of experience? I don't know. I mean, you trace it all the way back to the modern UFO era where Kenneth Arnold, dude sees 9 flying saucers, which was a misquote to begin with. He didn't even see saucer-shaped craft. He saw these crescent things or whatever, and they misheard him in the article and called it flying saucers. And then everyone sees flying saucers after that because of this article. So it's were they really seeing them, or was it all influenced by this first claim of seeing? I don't know. It blows my mind. And maybe it's like you said. I think the truth really does lie somewhere in between, and that's kind of what the whole UFO field is based on. 2 lies with a little bit of truth somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, dude, yeah. And then I think a lot of it too, maybe a little bit of it, I think it has to do with maybe these people tell their story, and then some of the people who are taking the story, if it's just a regular news broadcaster or something, a lot of times I feel those people don't give a shit. You could literally say yes, I saw a cube in the sky and it was kind of shifting these forms and I couldn't make it out or whatever, and then on the news that night they're they saw a flying saucer.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
And then you're oh damn, that dude saw a saucer. So immediately in your head you think, circular saucer shape, when that's not what you saw at all. I saw a cube, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There. When you look at the mass media, there's buzzwords that will get clicks and will get people interested, and saucer's one of them. And I mean, God, I can't tell you the last time someone's actually reported a saucer to me. It's everything but. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. It is tough when you're dealing with UFOs in the mass media. I think things are changing. I think a lot of news anchors and some of these really good websites are actually starting to really do their homework. You look at stuff like Vice or The Drive, the military website, and they're doing some heavy reporting on UFOs, and they are taking down precise quotes and making sure they're not mincing words with anything. And I really respect that we have people out there finally taking the topic seriously, getting the accurate information out there, and really making waves and following up with people. That's another big thing with me is, you look on your news, some people saw something strange in the sky, and then that's it. You never hear about anything after that. Well, did it happen again? Or was there any sort of event that triggered it beforehand? Or give me something here, guys. But it was often just fluff pieces in the news, and I think that is shifting and changing, where the UFO topic is getting closer and closer to the front page of some major newspapers. So I'm excited to see where it goes, and I have to admit, we have Tom DeLonge to thank for that, so thank you, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
True.
And for a lot of songs about penises. But
yes. That's
all good, too.
That's one of those things where it's there's so many people that hop on with TTSA, and it's because, they grew up with Blink-182, man, and it's that's cool. One of my favorite bands of all time is now Tom is now, doing aliens and UFO stuff. So that's one thing they got going for them. But so I guess on the topic of flying saucers, man, I have to know, how was it interviewing Stanton Friedman?
Oh man, yeah. So that was a big catch for me. I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous as shit, and
I bet.
I've talked to a lot of the, I guess, heavy hitters in the field, but that was one where I had no idea what to ask the guy. He's been asked every question you can possibly think of, and his vocabulary and the way his mind works is just, it's beyond me. I'm just a UFO researcher who listens to Blink-182 every now and again. But that was episode 50 for me on my podcast, and I really wanted to do something special. And around that time is when Stanton Friedman decided he was done. He wanted to retire from the the lecture circuit. And the dude has lectured in every country, every continent, every city you can think of, every province in Canada. It's insane. So I spent weeks and weeks trying to compile a list of questions to ask him, and then eventually I was just fuck it. Just get him on and see what happens. So I call him up, and he answers the phone, and he's like, "Hey, let's do this." And I'm just that immediately put me at ease. I'm like, oh my God, he's just a normal dude, and he's just excited to talk to me as I was to him. And we literally just ran through 50 years of his career, and how he got into it, what he found most interesting, where he thought it was heading, and I just let him talk. I think when I was editing, I had maybe 10 words total in a 2.5 hour conversation. So
yeah, I love that episode. That was a great one, dude.
Thank you. It was amazing. It really, if you didn't have respect for him before that, I don't know how you could come out the other side not thinking this dude changed all of our lives, and he paved the way. He was the original ufologist. It's insane to think that we can't just call him up anymore, and we won't see more books by him. But I treasure everything he's written. I respect the hell out of the guy as a human being first and foremost, as a UFO researcher second, and it was quite an honor, I have to admit.
Man, yeah, that's got to be awesome, dude. So, I mean, the closest that we ever got was we got to interview, her name was Joanne Ayton Kerr.
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And, she's the head archivist in New Brunswick. The archive that Stanton, donated all of his stuff, all his research, everything that was in his house, he donated to them. And she's the head archivist over there, and she had some pretty awesome stories about it as well.
I can imagine, yeah.
She was like, there's so many things in his collection, like there's vials of liquid and like powders and like all kinds of stuff, and we don't really know what to do with them, or like should we open them or what, But she said,
should we smoke it? I don't know.
Some of that space weed, man. Yeah, dude. If anybody had
That's
it,
crazy.
Stan did, bro.
Absolutely. I could see him and like Carl Sagan kicking back a joint or two for sure.
Yes, dude. Well, I bet they did. They went to college together, right?
Yeah, they debated together, and like they had a huge respect for one another. So again, like Stanton, you can say what you want about the guy. He was very pro ET, but he was very well respected by his peers. And although he will always be remembered as a ufologist, like he was a physicist first and foremost, and that's an amazing feat and a life, well lived in my opinion.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome,
yeah,
man.
We gotta follow up with Joanna, because I mean, she did tell us about Friedman Fridays, where they would go through all the archives and documents and little samples, and she said they do have a little piece of metal that came in an envelope. Somebody said, "Hey, here's a piece from the Roswell crash." Was it the Roswell crash?
Yeah, okay, it was from the Roswell crash.
And I know on Mysteries Decoded, y'all went out to the crash site and tested some metal. I have listened to that episode when you talk about it, but maybe for our viewers that don't know, or listeners that don't know, y'all didn't have some something that came back from testing it, right? Y'all had some answers.
Yeah, so this is actually an ongoing investigation. It did not end with the television special. That was fun. I mean, I was contacted out of the blue, and it was television. CW Network was like, we want to go. We're rebooting Roswell, the fictional television show from the 90s. I was like, oh, that's cool. I remember that show. Like, yeah, we're gonna do it modern day version, but we want to like inform the public of what actually happened in Roswell. So like we want to go out and investigate it. And I was like, all right. I'm like, I guess I don't know what we could discover after all this time, but yeah, sure, I'll go out there. And I was very surprised. Like we actually found new evidence, and that came in the form of Frank Kimbler. He's a geologist out in Roswell. He works at the Military Institute, and the dude for like the past couple years has been out there digging at the crash site, which is a story in itself of how he found it. He was able to use like all these crazy aerial satellite stuff to like triangulate the area according to like certain bushes in the desert. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. I don't know how he did it, but what he did was he went out to the site and he just started digging. And him and his son for almost a few years were out there digging like every weekend. And they actually found metals out there, which if you actually go out there, it's like 100 miles from anything, any form of life, nothing out there, nothing, not a bird, not a bug, nothing. So when we discovered that he found like metal alloys out there, we were like, what the hell? This has to be the place. And the way he like discovered it is from years and years of like erosion and like water coming through those areas, the arroyos out there, that stuff would go down. It would be like under the surface. And if the guys out there were the military people, picked everything up that was on the surface, they did not get everything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm all in with that. So he found metals. We went to Roswell. We talked to him. He showed us military buttons he found out there too, that they were carbon dated back to the 40s. So what the hell were military buttons doing out there if they weren't like on their hands and knees picking shit up, and like, maybe a button or two fell off. So back to the metals. We go to a aerospace lab in California, and we're talking like these dudes work with some pretty well-known aerospace people on almost a daily basis, and we didn't tell them what we were doing. We did not say, we think we have UFO pieces. Will you test them? Because you try that with these labs, and they want nothing to do with you. Like, they don't want that on their shoulders. So, like, we tried, like, 5 labs before we smartened up, and we're like, maybe we shouldn't mention these could possibly be from a UFO.
yeah, definitely.
So we got them tested at the lab, and our results were actually pretty interesting. Now, on the TV show, it was kind of a wah. Like, they're just normal metals or whatever. But what actually happened is these things were tested before in Canada, and it came back, like, totally off the charts, like, alien. Like, this stuff cannot be from here. And we were like, okay, let's get it tested to make sure, like, they didn't screw anything up. Lo and behold, they really screwed up. And we were able to determine that, yes, the metals were quite possibly from Earth, but the way the ratios were in terms of, like, the actual alloys within it, definitely were from something in space. Aerospace. Like, this is the kind of metal and composition that you would only put on the most sophisticated shuttles out there. So what the hell were these metals doing out in the desert, buried under, like, feet of ground that had been there for almost 50 years? So, I'm not saying it was aliens, but, like, there was some super high-tech fucking metal going on in that desert that had been there for a really long time. So maybe it was some top-secret thing. I mean, you look back at the 40s when Roswell happened, we were just starting the early stages of the space program. So, could it have been ours? Yeah. Is that worth a cover-up for 50 years? Maybe. Or it was aliens. I don't know. But the tests are ongoing. We still have a lot of different tests to do with the metals. And I should have some exciting news about some follow-up with that pretty soon.
That's cool. That's awesome, dude. Dude, have you heard any stories about how... I don't know if was it us or maybe like maybe the Russians or whatever maybe had like sent... a man-made craft, but it had like children inside of it, like that had deformities and things like that, and like that's why they didn't want to say anything, because they don't want that getting out, which is worse than covering up aliens. Like, I think it's way worse to be like, yeah, we just got some like special needs kids and put them in a spacecraft and shot it across the world.
So I'd heard those rumors, sort of whispers in the UFO field, and I know Nick Redfern has written a book all about that theory as well. But I will tell you this: when we were in Roswell, we were just kind of chilling, and we had the camera guys with us. So of course, everyone in town, the locals, want to know what the hell you're doing in Roswell, and usually they assume you're doing something with the crash or aliens. Yeah. Because why else would you be in the middle of Roswell?
We're doing a documentary on Roadrunners.
Yeah, right?
Like, that's lame.
Dude, that is so funny you said that. So our cameraman didn't want to tell them what we were doing, and he literally goes, we're doing a documentary on groundwater. And the guy was like, oh, interesting. He's like, so nothing with UFOs? And they were like, nah, but, like, what do you know about that? Just curious, what do you know? Because we wanted to hear from locals. And, like, not on camera. We wanted to hear it, like, raw, vulnerable as they can be. And this guy goes, oh, my grandfather worked at the base, Roswell Army Airfield, and, I totally know what it was. And we're like, oh, really? Well, tell us. And he went on to tell us that it was a top-secret project, early space program, where we were sending up children in high-altitude balloons to see how far they could get in the atmosphere before, their fucking heads exploded or something.
My God.
So
the Russians sent dogs and monkeys and shit.
Right?
Jesus.
So this guy thinks it was us, not the Russians, not the Germans, that we were doing this, and if you know what? It kind of clicked when I was in Roswell hearing the story. We went to the Roswell Daily Record newspaper, who broke the original story. We heard from the original sources, their families, about what headline they were told to put in the newspaper. We went to Frank and we talked about what he'd found with the metals. We talked to all these locals, and like, all these stories are spinning around in my head, and I'm like, holy shit, this human experiment thing makes so much more sense. It explains the bodies that were found, why they looked deformed, because like you said, a lot of people think they used special needs children who were kind of outcasted, and nobody would know they were missing, or that they'd been killed. So maybe those were the bodies that were found, why they needed children caskets. The Roswell funeral home, they asked, do you have child-sized caskets? Guy's like, what? No. And he's like, all right, well, we need 4 of them, like, immediately. It explains why the original story was it was a weather balloon, because it actually was a sort of top-secret, high-altitude balloon that they were using. So the human side of the Roswell case is extremely disturbing, and the more and more I look at it, I'm kind of like, it actually makes some sense. And that's fucking terrifying. Like you said, that's more scary than aliens crashing on our planet. If we're using our own people to do these experiments, and then we're going to let the public say, let them go with the alien story. Let them go with that. Yeah. And we'll continue to build our space program, black budget.
Oof. I wonder, like, what does happen to the human body when it goes in a really high altitude? Does like your body bloat at some, like, is there a reason why the heads were bigger? You know, I don't know. I wonder what happens to a human body in high altitude.
I think only a few people really know, man, and they're long gone by this point.
Yep. Damn, dude, yeah.
That's creepy.
I don't know about that, bro, but I mean, it's no... I mean, it is a secret, but I think it's no secret that, our government definitely has tested on people, and, that's kind of what they do. And I feel like that has a lot to do with most of this secrecy stuff, a lot more than maybe the alien UFO element. It's just what they're doing to their own people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Didn't like there's a scientist in China that just got like the okay to start doing animal and human DNA hybridization projects?
Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah. No, thank you. That's not. Oh, China. Oh, China. I love you. Yeah. Everything we own is made there, but come on,
man. I know. But on the topic of TV shows, man, are you excited for the next Blue Book to come out, dude?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm a huge Hynek fan. I mean, he's like my hero. I love the first season. Look, I mean, everyone's ragging on it because it's total fiction and like they're mixing cases and like it's inaccurate. It's a TV show. It's not a documentary. Yeah. That's what I tell people. Watching the teaser for the new season, they're doing Roswell, Area 51, MK Ultra. They're just like everything, throwing the baby in with the bathwater, and I'm all in, man. Like, let's do it.
I'm excited for it too, dude. Yeah, because I mean, you got to know it's fiction. Yes, it's coming out on the History Channel, but I mean, they're kind of the Alien Channel now. But it's like, dude, they're not like, they haven't told you the truth before. It's not going to come out on a History Channel TV show. Like, you can't expect that, dude.
It's so funny. It's like I remember seeing the meme where it's like, here's History Channel during the day. Egyptians built the pyramids. Here's History Channel at 10 p.m. at night. Aliens!
Yes. Yeah.
The pyramids like taking off into space.
That's pretty much it, dude. That's pretty much it. And man, I haven't. Another one I haven't seen yet is Hellier 2. Man, that looks like it's gonna be pretty awesome because the first one.
Yeah, first season was great. Yeah, so I mean, those dudes over at Planet Weird, they're huge heroes of mine. I love everything they do. They're the kind of people who are like not set in their ways. Like, what I'm dealing with is UFOs. What I'm dealing with is a ghost. It's like, no, let's see what else it could be. And this whole Hellier thing, for any of your listeners who don't know what it is, I can't really explain it because I don't think they even know what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
It started with these cryptic emails about a dude being terrorized by goblins in Kentucky. So right there, you're like, what? I want to see that. And it just goes down every avenue and rabbit hole you can think of. They just dropped their season 2. I've got Greg Newkirk coming on my show this week to talk about it, and what he discovered and kind of where they're left in their investigation. And it's crazy. It's like this breadcrumb trail of just mystery and weird shit and everything you can possibly think of in this paranormal, weird world we live in. So I definitely suggest people check out Hellier. Yeah. It's all over. It's like number 1 on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Yeah, when they started talking about, like just the caves and like the Brown Mountain lights and all the stuff that they were seeing. Here in Texas, we have the Marfa lights. Have you ever heard of the Marfa lights?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's still, up in the air. Like nobody really knows. I mean, there's been like teams of scientists that have gone out there and they're like, yeah, it's cars, but there's no roads like where these lights are being seen. Like it's kind of crazy, and they occur like around the same time almost every night, and it's like
I've seen them, man.
It's ball lightning. It's cars. Those are Chinese lanterns. Like somebody's up there lighting Chinese lanterns every single night. Like,
right.
That's
that's like a dedicated prank right there.
Exactly.
It's like a second job. Yeah.
Yep. Let's get out there and light those Chinese lanterns. Like, dude, hell no. Get out of here with that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, nobody knows what that is, man. But yeah, that's a cool little Texas phenomenon that we got. You
guys got some good stuff.
Texas?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, traveling, and I mean, you guys got the Stephenville case, one of the biggest UFO cases of all time. I mean, and Aurora too. My God, perhaps one of the first UFO crashes. So, I mean, you guys, when it comes to UFOs, you got it going on for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff out here, man. I mean, there's so much, nothing. There's we got big old cities, but at the same time, there's a lot of nothing out here. So,
and that's where it happens, dude. I mean, I live in the most populated city in America. It's gross, it's dirty, it's loud, light pollution. You can't see shit. So, like, I'm envious. I'm not gonna lie. I'm envious that you can have an open sky to search while I'm just staring up at smog and 10 million airplanes coming in and out of JFK.
Yeah, well, Ben lives next to the Austin Bertram International Airport, so he's constantly got shit flying over his house. But the good thing is, like you drive 30 minutes in any direction and there's nothing.
Yeah,
and that's pretty cool. And some cities here are also starting to take on that the no light pollution ordinance, where their lights have to be like dim lights. So I'm pretty excited about that happening. So we can definitely keep our eyes on the sky, dude.
Could you imagine, man, the more sky we see, the better chance of seeing these things. And everyone's always like, I want to see a UFO, I want to see a UFO. I'm like, all right, go to Arizona, go to New Mexico, go to Texas. Like, this is not the place to be. So, yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, dude, if you're ever rolling through Texas, man, and you want to have some barbecue and look up at the skies, bro, hit us up, dude.
Yeah.
Hit us up.
That sounds like perfection.
Yeah, we'll go chase some UFOs together, dude. Have some good tacos,
I am in. You guys make some damn good tacos out there.
Oh, some of the best. Yeah. Some of the best, dude. Yeah, we were out in I was out in Terlingua, and dude, I mean, the sky out there, because it's nothing. It's just desert. And it's pretty rough, dude. Like it's pretty rough out there. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm drawn to the desert. I absolutely love it. But man, it's just gorgeous at nighttime. It doesn't get any better than that, man.
Yeah, there's something about it. I mean, I've been a city boy my whole life, and there's just something about the desert that draws you in. And I don't know what it is. I don't want to know what it is. I just know it's magical, and it's where these things are meant to happen. I really do believe that, and I hope that someday I can get out there again, either Roswell, Texas, and just enjoy it and like take it all in and maybe see that triangle I saw when I was 12 years old. I don't know, man.
Yeah, man. You should try to vector it in, dude.
Yes. Stephen Greer style.
Yeah, get some green lasers, dude.
Yeah, dude. I got my green laser with me.
Done.
Ben got a green laser, and dude, he ran out of batteries in like the first like couple days. He just kept fucking around with it. Mine still works, but yeah, because I'm using it to vector aliens, dude.
I was gonna say vectoring in aliens ain't cheap.
No, definitely not. Definitely not, dude. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So, dude, you are you running out of time? Are you about to have to go and pick up the lady?
Yeah. I'm the one who's in charge of the commuting here in New York City. So yeah.
Well, I mean, y'all got one of the best mass transit systems like in the world, don't y'all?
That is true. That is true. It just it decides to break
right
down.
Over your house, dude.
It literally does. I don't know how many times you heard it tonight, but it wakes me up like every half hour. But I'm used to it by now.
God, dude. That's awesome, man. Well, bro, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Definitely want to have you back again. And because I mean, there's a million more things I could ask you and talk to you about.
Yeah. Oh my God, I could talk for 10 more hours. But no, guys, I know our conversation's only begun. So no, thank you so much for having me. I'm totally digging what you guys are doing, and we need all the help we can get. So like, let's do this again. You got to come on my show now. The invitation's there, and
totally,
let's do it.
Let's keep searching the skies.
Searching the
yes,
skies.
man. Yes, and again, bro, if you ever come through Texas, man, hit us up and we'll meet up and go do some cool shit.
I am in.
All right, brother. Well, hey, man, it was good talking to you, man, and we'll talk to you next time, man.
Absolutely. Have a great night, guys.
All right, see you, man.
See you later, dude.
Later.
Sick.
Well, that was good stuff, dude.
That was so much fun.
I'm glad we finally got to have him on the show.
I know, man. That was so good.
Yeah, and I really did, dude. I mean, I have like 100 more questions. Well, 103 more questions that I could totally ask him right now. But that just leaves it open for the next one, dude.
Yeah. Definitely, dude. We gotta have him back on. That'd be awesome if we can go on his show too. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be sick, dude. Maybe I can ask him like 94 questions over there.
Like we ask him questions instead of him asking us.
We ask him questions on his podcast. Yes, dude. We just interview him again. Yeah. Well, we don't know how to be guests. We only know how to be interviewees.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd say,
dude. Like if he tried to like research us, like
yeah, what's there to find?
He'd be like, so
I see that you like aliens. I like aliens too.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, but yeah, because I mean, the dude does film and movies and writes books and all kinds of stuff. We'll be like, yeah, me and Ben, we always think about writing a book. And you know what? We think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. But the thought is there. It's going to be sick.
Yeah.
When we do write it, I don't know what we're going to write about.
Us, dude.
Okay.
We'll just write about us.
Okay.
Our experience.
It all started June of 19...
Yep.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, dude. I mean, it was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
I want to hear more stories. I want more people to start emailing us stories too.
I know. Damn. Guys, email us some stories, man.
Yeah.
Talk to your friends. If you hear anybody who's got a story, tell them to email it to us. And we'll tell the story on the show, man. Yeah. Or we'll have them on the podcast.
Or you can like email us and we'll figure out a way where you can come and like leave a message and tell the story, or dude, whatever.
Yeah, something.
That'd be cool.
Because that'd be pretty kick ass.
Yeah,
I love those stories, dude. That hooded figure thing.
Yeah,
dude, that's creepy.
That is so creepy, and that's like, it's been happening a lot. Like, there's not just one story; it's been happening a lot. Not maybe lately, but a lot more stories that I've been listening to have like a hooded figure in it.
Yeah,
which is really freaking creepy, like a robed, hooded dude just in your house.
It does make me feel good to know, though, that if like you're ever scared, you can be like, no, not today,
not today,
and then go and like chase after it, and watch it stumble over itself. He's like, ow, ow, ow.
Dude, I love that.
Oh, that's dude, amazing. Man. Maybe, so, dude, okay, the owl thing, right? Yeah. Maybe, right? That's what that burrito was on that guy's floor. He's like, burrito.
Yes.
And he turned into a burrito.
Yes, dude. Yeah. Totally. I mean, maybe they just like see something in your mind that they think you'd be okay with, and they're like, "All right, this guy loves burritos." burrito.
Yeah,
it's funny that he said it verbally too. That's crazy.
That is crazy. Like aliens, dude. I mean, if they've been studying us this long, they gotta know our language, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just fucking with us.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder why he would say it in English too.
I don't know.
Maybe created English.
Maybe he knew, that we're in America. He's like, hey, we're in America. We're in America, man. We're gonna talk English.
We're gonna talk American.
We're speaking American here in America. All right.
Dude, I wanted to kind of ask. I wonder if he had heard any, or has anybody submitted any stories, or does he know any famous UFO stories or alien stories that happen in other countries besides like Australia? And I know a lot of them happen in like North America or America, North and South and Canada and all that. But like you don't hear about anything in India a lot,
I think he submitted a FOIA request for the event that happened in Pakistan, I think. And I was gonna ask him that, but we started running out of time.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, dude, I mean they happen everywhere. I mean, so just as of recently, right? Like our government started talking about releasing all this information and blah blah blah. Yeah. Well, we're the only country who hasn't disclosed their information. All the other countries already have.
Really?
It's open. People talk about it openly. That's why it's not like a big deal. Like anywhere else. Like this is just shit people see all over the world, and it's like, oh yeah, it's those flying things again. Here in the United States, though, it's like this big cover up conspiracy. Oh, what was that I saw in the sky? Nobody knows, but all the other world governments have been like, yeah, dude, those are UFOs.
Well, for some reason, it's just America that's not doing it. Or North America.
I mean, Canada's disclosed it for a long ass time. Mexico, it's huge, dude. I mean, like there's so many things that happen like down in Mexico. So like, I mean, we're talking like just right along the borders of both of us, of the United States. Both of these countries have disclosed it, and it's like not a big deal to them, and it's everywhere. I mean, India too. I mean, like I've heard all kinds of stuff all over the world.
Yeah. Dude, okay, so I saw something in the sky yesterday and I filmed it. I want you to take a look at it and see what you think.
Let me see this. Well, I see your big ass finger. That's pretty interesting.
So it wasn't moving; it was stationary in the sky.
That's pretty interesting.
First, I'm thinking it's like those number balloons. It looks like there's a 0 and maybe like a 7 or a 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if it's not swamp gas, it's definitely a UFO, right?
It's not. Yeah. So the weird thing is that there was a pretty good wind that day. I mean, this was yesterday.
Yeah.
But the thing, it didn't ascend or descend. It was just hanging out in the sky.
That's cool.
There's another one.
That's actually really cool.
If you slide to the left, there's another one.
That's your dick.
It's because you slide to the right, dude.
Oh, okay. This way, yes.
That's your dick.
That was your wiener. All right. That's a nice wiener, though.
Freaking got you, dude.
You idiot. You got me.
Idiot.
Damn it.
Yeah.
It's blurry. It's got to be a drone. Mm-hmm. No, dude,
I tried to be pretty still.
That's actually pretty crazy looking, honestly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you guys out there listening are pissed because you can't see it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, looks pretty interesting, right? Yeah. But yeah, post it on the Facebook.
Yeah, I'll see what people think,
and we'll see all the shit people talk about it.
Okay. Again, another blurry ass, shaky fucking cell phone photo.
That's pretty awesome, though, dude.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Isn't that sick? And then, dude, so I was at a bar on Friday night with Sam, and we're sitting at this picnic table, and he's looking out towards the sky. I'm looking towards the building. So all of a sudden, we're having this chat, and he goes, "Oh my god!" And I turn around immediately, and I didn't see anything, but he said, "Dude, that was really weird. I just saw, like, you know how like a shooting star comes in really fast and like, pew." He said it was probably like start, finish. It was really fast, but it was a huge orange circle that didn't have like reflections coming off of it, like or a trail or anything like that. He said there wasn't a trail, but it was just this big ass orange ball that just streaked across the sky, but not all the way.
God damn!
So it just went like, if you were to hold up like the length of a cell phone in front of you, that's how far it went, and then it just disappeared. It was pretty weird.
That's pretty awesome.
I was pissed that I didn't see it. I like immediately went on his side of the table just in case it happened again.
Right? Yeah.
But dude, it's 2 UFO sightings in one weekend. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. Damn, what did I do? I was pretty lazy this weekend, unfortunately. I didn't see any UFOs.
Oh man,
I'm too busy watching Love After Lockup with my old lady on TLC.
What? What is it? Or with people?
It's the worst show ever created,
Love
dude.
After Lockup.
It's about it's about people who are in prison, and then like they find love outside of prison, and then whenever they get released from prison, they're like, "Is this gonna work?" And it's like, no, because you were just in prison, and they were just using you for your money, and like it always works out that way. And they're like, it's so terrible.
Oh,
the
man.
worst show ever created. You ever see something so terrible that like you just can't look away? Like it's kind of one of those things where like I yell at the TV.
Yeah.
Right. And like I know I shouldn't be doing this or watching this. Right. I am completely
it's
wasting my time right now. Right. and I should be out looking for aliens.
Yeah.
I can't. It like sucks me in.
Yeah.
I can't leave the couch.
Oh no.
Oh,
dude,
it's terrible.
I had a show like that a while back. It wasn't. It was. I can't remember the name of it, but it was
Frasier.
Nope. No. I did try to watch that. I couldn't get into it. I heard it was a really good show though.
I hear that too, and it's not.
It's not.
I think it's for like smart people or something.
Yeah, I don't think I'm smart enough. But it was the show. It was about people going out in the middle of nowhere doing like a homestead, and they had like it was the weirdest thing. Like the family had like 8 kids, but they all had different accents. So like what? That doesn't make any sense. Like, did you grow up in a different place? I think it was all just actors, and they put them together and said they were a family, and they were really dysfunctional and just like.
Was it the Alaskan Bush people?
It might have been, but I'd have to look it up. But man, I did have a show just like that. Like, this is fucking terrible TV. Why did I spend 2 full days watching every episode?
I binged it. I had to. And I'm not smarter, nor do I know how to homestead. Oh, man, that was awesome. Well, dude, that was a really good episode, man. Hey, don't forget to check us out on UFOGaragePC.com.
Yeah.
We've got some goodies on there for you guys. You can check out all of our episodes. You can check out our intro. If you're a new listener, you can listen to the intro to our episodes and find out what we're all about. Also, UFOCon 2020.
Oh yeah.
All of our California listeners, check that out. Go to UFOCon2020.com and get your tickets and come out and say hi to us.
Hell yeah. That'd be sick.
We're going to send Max to NASA.
Send Max to NASA, dude.
Yeah.
We need some donations for Max.
And also, I still want to find like a little charity around here for Christmas time. Maybe get some kids some toys.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to donate and help us out with that, because I mean, it's going to be a bummer when we show up to these kids' houses and we're like, so sorry, we don't have any toys for you, but
why would we show up at all?
But here's a magic trick, and then like we pretend to take their nose off, and it's like our thumb. So yeah, dude. So I mean, we'd like to do some Christmas donation stuff, because if not, I mean, they're getting $40 from me and $40 from Ben.
Yeah. Dude.
So yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That was an awesome episode. Check out the website, UFOCon. What else? We need to get Lorianne on. We need to schedule her as soon as possible.
Yes, we got to do that.
Yeah.
Got to do that. Don't forget to check out Phoenix Shaving at phoenixshaving.com. Go see what Doug's got going on over there. And because he got some like Christmas stuff coming out, some Christmas scents.
Sweet, dude.
I'm not gonna buy them because Christmas is dead. But
smell like cinnamon.
yeah, dude. Yeah, abduction51.com. Go check out their gear. Those are our brothers from across the pond. And yeah, man. I mean,
go subscribe to us on YouTube.
Yeah. If you listen on YouTube, I know we got like 90 something members now on the UFO Garage podcast group. So if every single one of you guys goes and just hits the subscribe button really quick, I mean, you don't even need an account to do that. You just go click subscribe.
Do you? I thought you did.
No, I don't think so.
Sick.
I never made an account.
Okay.
I don't think so. I mean, even if you did, I mean, how many times do you put your email on something a day, right? And it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of one of those things. And if you do, now you can just go talk shit to people, right, in the comments. And that's like, I mean, I don't, right? Yeah. But I definitely enjoy reading them. Yeah. So go talk shit to people in the comments. Sign up, and so I can go read them. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Facebook and wherever you listen to us. You know, whether it be Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever. Shoot us a little like. Maybe send us a little comment on the bottom, even if it's like, you guys sound like farts on the radio. That's cool too. Yeah. Like, you know, all the love, man. It just helps us climb those charts.
Yeah.
And
ratings on iTunes podcasts too. Those help.
Yeah.
Have our stuff show up. Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to get more listens than Led Zeppelin radio. So if you guys could help us get more listens than Led Zeppelin radio, that would be awesome.
That shouldn't be too hard.
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, they're only just known as the pinnacle of rock and roll.
I've never heard of them.
Never heard of those guys? It's these chicks from England.
Oh, okay. Got it.
No. But yeah, guys. I think it's about it for me, dude.
Yeah.
About it for you too?
Yeah, dude.
Well, I'm thinking about another episode of UFO Garage Podcast. Talk to y'all later.
Peace.